Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of the Blended Online Learning Retreat. So this week, we're going to be talking about effective strategies that you should be incorporating into any Tech Enhanced class, really any class that you're teaching, but we're focused on Tech Enhanced classes this week. So we have some really wonderful content for you, some wonderful readings this week. We have one from the great book by Bocher and Conrad. It's called The Online Teaching Survival Guide. It's a fantastic, fantastic book. If you're going to be teaching a fully online class or a blended class, it's the one book. If you have to get one book, it's the one book I recommend you getting. Great book. But they have this nice chapter where they talk about the 10 plus 4 best practices for an online or blended course. And it's really, really good stuff. They just walk through 10 strategies plus 4, and they do a nice, they're really approachable writers. They're very succinct writers. And they say like, hey, if you have these things in your course is probably going to be pretty good. So I want you to go through that, read through that. It's 19 pages, not that long, but it has some great information in it. And I think you'll find it really, really informative. Then we have 3 web pages that we want you to look at. During the pandemic year in 2021, at CETSI, we surveyed all our faculty who were teaching online, who were teaching in hybrid classes, and were in a number of different technology-enhanced formats because of the pandemic emergency. And so we had this wonderful sort of experiment to find out just what are the best practices. So we surveyed people, asking like, hey, what worked in a hybrid class? What worked in an online class? Tell us what those strategies were. We summarized them. We put them together, put some supporting resources together. And there's some really nice, sort of, I call it battle-tested strategies, and they overlap really, really nicely with what you'll read in Bocher and Conrad. So take a look at those. The other web page that we have 3 of those up there, 2 where we directly ask people what worked. The other one, and I think you'll find this really interesting, is the strategies that people thought that they would bring forward, right? After the pandemic emergency, what are all these things that they found that were really useful, and what would they carry with them afterwards? Again, there's some great stuff in there. Read that through. There's supporting documentation. You'll find it, I think you'll find it really interesting and really useful. For your activity this week, forgot one thing before the activity. We also have 2 short mini lectures. The first couple of best practices in Bocher and Conrad are talking about making sure there's something called presence in your course. And then they have another one talking about community and making sure you have community in your courses. So we wanted to build on those a little bit and just give you a little bit of extra context for it. So I made a short little mini lecture on presence, 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes. And then I did an interview with Robbie Pak, our instructional designer and assistant professor here in the libraries. And we talked about community. And she's an expert on that. So I think you'll find that really interesting. Okay, so your assignment for this week, want you to look at the first 11 of Bocher and Conrad's best practices. Not using the last 3 because they're more about their sort of bigger overall course structure, not really strategies. So but we want you to look at the first 11 of those strategies that Bocher and Conrad talk about and identify places in your course where you will develop those. And again, it's sort of like last week, this is a brainstorming activity, so you don't have to have this fully fleshed out. But think about when we talk about, okay, practice 1 says you should have presence in your course. What are some strategies you're going to use to incorporate presence in your course? They say have frequent communication with your students. How are you going to do that? What are some ways in which you're going to do that? So we want you to think through those, to write that down, and that will be really helpful for you as we get more into the design portions of this course. We sort of plot this stuff out. It's have these general strategies and these things that you're thinking about doing, and then we can really apply those to the design of your course. So I think this will be a super helpful exercise. You have a really good supporting materials for that, both from Bocher and Conrad and from the web pages that we put together on our pandemic resources. So that's what you have this week. We just have the one forum activity. So this gives you plenty of time to really dive into that reading and to read that and really read it thoroughly, dive into those web pages, and also spend some time on that forum. So that's all for now. Good luck again. Let me know if you have any questions. Just give me a shout, send me an email, or give me a call. Happy to chat. Or chat on Zoom, chat in my office. Any way you want. And good luck with your work this week. Bye-bye.